Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to talk about the best crafting recipes for the big three professions: tailoring, blacksmithing, and leatherworking. All three of these have some pretty unique niche things that you can go out and gather. I personally think tailoring definitely takes the cake here for a few reasons. But if you are the other professions, you can also make money and go after certain recipes that people will be wanting you to make and acquire. But before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the very first one that we are going to talk about is going to be tailoring. Now, one of the most unique tailoring recipes that you can get, and this one is going to be interesting to see if it will actually be heavily used here in phase 1 of SOD once we're level 60 with Molten Core. But it is going to be Robe of Winter Night, and it drops off of the Cobalt Mage Weaver Blue Dragons here. There are like 57 elites in this area, so be very cautious. You can solo them, but you got to be paying attention and not just, run around here. It's a very deadly area. Next, we're going to talk about the Wizard Weave Turban. Now, this one you're going to be farming for the possibility to disenchant, but it drops off of Dark Casters here at Corrin's Crossing right here. There's tons of undead here, level 56 to 60, so just be careful here. Obviously, it's going to be a tough farm to sort of pull off, especially at level 50. I wouldn't even recommend it. You'll have to assemble a raid team at 50 to go there. But if at level 60, you can farm this Wizard Weave Turban, and it is a great item to sort of make into DE and then profit. Then if you don't want to go out there and farm that one, because that one is BOP, there are Rune Cloth Shoulders, which is just a world drop. That's pretty much it. You either get lucky or you go to the auction house and buy it. But it is the alternative to the Wizard Weave Turban. Sometimes, depending on the price of things, the Rune Cloth Shoulders are actually cheaper to make because the turban uses Star Rubies and Dream Dust. So it's pretty, depends on the prices. Next, we have bags. So there is the Rune Cloth Bag vendor, a Rune Cloth Bag, and she sells a recipe here in Everlook. It is very heavy contested, but if you are able to snag one, it is worth getting because you can make some decent profit because everyone needs Rune Cloth bags. They're the go-to bags for people. As you can see, I even have 4 Rune Cloth bags that I made myself. Also at this vendor, you can get your Mooncloth recipe for like 2 gold, I think. And you should definitely be making your Mooncloth on cooldown at the end of this video. I'm going to go buy 2 Fellcloth off the AH and then go and make my Mooncloth, because you are going to either want to sell it now for money or you are going to want to stockpile it up, because when ZG comes around, everybody's going to be needing it for their wonderful Bloodvine gear, which we will talk about in a moment. But another awesome huge world drop is Mooncloth bags. So it takes 1 Mooncloth to make, and it is a 16 slot bag opposed to these 14 slot bags. You've probably seen some people either have the recipe or the recipe is going for a ton of gold right now. I do not have it because I think it's absurdly expensive for 2 extra bag slots. But it is what it is. Some people want those best bags, so it's just a huge world drop. If you get it, it's a huge win, but I don't really see too much value in buying it off the AH and crafting it, but you might be able to do it if you're active enough. Then we have resistance gear. The MC resistance gear you're never going to use unless they make significant changes to M's Molten Core, so I wouldn't really recommend doing Thorium Brotherhood and getting the Flare Core stuff. It's just simply not worth it. However, when AQ and Nax come out, there are some awesome gear, so what you can do now to prepare for that is farm Cenarian Circle reputation and Argent Dawn rep. You can't really do Cenarian Circle right now, so our AD is the biggest rep that you're going to be able to farm. Then with Zandalari Trolls, when they come along, we go to Bloodvine. So that Bloodvine is some of the best like raid gear that you can get in phase 4, I guess, when they released the Bloodvine. It was originally phase 4, but it's when ZG comes out. I don't really know the time schedule. I guess it might be phase 6 or 7 here in SOD, since we're in phase 3, about to be phase 4 for 60. But as you can see, it takes Mooncloth, Bloodvine, and some other stuff in order to make these. And while it does require Tailoring 300 for the spell bonus, it is not necessarily required to have the Tailoring to use it. So it's very important that people know that. And you'll get the boots at Friendly, the leggings at Honored, and the vest at Revered. So that's pretty much it for tailoring and all the best recipes that you can go out there and get. Next, we're going to talk about leatherworking. Leatherworking as well as blacksmithing are a little niche because they have their specializations. And in order to make money, you have to hit those niche specializations. So for leatherworking, I would highly recommend that you are a tribal leatherworker, because tribal leatherworkers get Hide of the Wild, which is a back piece that you can make that every healer is going to want to have. As you see, it is right here. This comes available when Dire Maul comes out. Very, very important that you get that. I forgot to mention it comes from a chest that you get in there, the cachet. That also drops Fellcloth gloves, which is a huge one for warlocks and priests to make. That falls under the tailoring. I forgot to mention that, but since we're talking about Hide the Wild, it's gathered from the same cachet for saving the goblin in there. Then also, a tribal leatherworker gets Devil Sore, which I'm not too sure where Devil Sore is going to fall here, but they get Devil Sore gloves and legs, which are pretty great for leveling, but the Sunken Temple No More gear is pretty close to Devil Sore, so I'm not too sure how desired this Devil Sore gear is going to be right now. Then we have the Wolfshed helmet, which you get just from becoming a tribal leatherworker. This one is huge for all druids. They use this all the time. I believe an enchant is Data Mine 2 becoming out that gives this effect, but it's not out yet, so we'll just have to wait and see. But for right now, Wolfshed helm is a great profit maker because all the power shifting feral druids definitely want this helmet. Then as far as general drops, I've talked about this a few times, but it is going to be the Wicked Leather Headband, and this drops from Jade Fire Tricksters that are going to be here in Fellwood up here at the Jade Fire Run, and then they can also be in this little area here when you go and cleanse the Fellwell stuff there. So that is where you can get your Wicked Leather Headbands. They're pretty cheap on the AH, like 5 gold, but this is one of the best things to sort of DE and craft for some profit that a leatherworker can make. Next, we are going to talk about blacksmithing. So blacksmithing is kind of the dark horse profession, unless they add new stuff to it. Obviously, they can always do this, and that makes this video, that's true for every single thing I've talked about in the video. We're going to look at armor smithing. You have armor smithing and weapon smithing. I would recommend you become an armor smith. There are just so many great, huge recipes that are all epic world drops. So it kind of sucks, but it's a huge investment, but it can pay off a ton if you are a determined person. I was back in Original Classic, but not so much anymore. But the Lionheart helmet is a really powerful helmet. Obviously, when they overhaul the gear, they might not change this, so it becomes not as good, but we'll have to see with that. Another recipe to go after, and this comes when AQ comes out, is Titanic Leggings. It was not in the game until AQ last time, so I'd imagine that will stay true. And another one is going to be Stronghold Gauntlets. These are huge for any PvPer. They are incredibly expensive to make, but it makes them immune to disarm. So all really, really good stuff. Then as far as miscellaneous things that blacksmiths can make and get is going to be a steel weapon chain. This is a big one that PvPers want, as well as mithril spurs. This is so everyone can make their riding sets. These are the two common utilities, and they need a blacksmith to put them on as well as make them. So you can put mithril spurs and steel weapon chains up on the AH, and they will sell pretty decently. And then you can also service people by putting them onto it. There are a few things people can do with the shield spikes, but that's not really too big until paladins become a thing on Horde. Alliance paladins might use them to go and farm. Then as far as plate gear goes, there is something to be said for the fire res gear for Molten Core when they're tanking Ragnaros. So Thorium Brotherhood rep is worth doing if you are a blacksmith and you want to cover those niche creations. Other than that is going to be Cenarian Circle and Argent Dawn. It's hard to say for leatherworking and blacksmithing if the Zandalari gear is going to be worth pursuing. Tailoring almost definitely is going to be, unless they really add a ton of new gear. But I would definitely say that the Thorium Brotherhood is worth doing if you are a blacksmith. And then a Argent Dawn and Cenarian Circle, when AQ and Naxxramas come out, are good to have. Argent Dawn's farmable now and at level 60, but but you will not be able to do Cenarian Circle too much until AQ and the Gate event comes out. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. This is talking about tailoring, leatherworking, blacksmithing, along the lines of the best recipes and where you can go to farm them. You guys have really loved the enchanting and alchemy versions of this video, so I wanted to take the time to talk about the big 3 crafting ones and give you all the information that you're going to need if you want to be a top-tier crafter on Season of Discovery. But anyway, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you think I missed anything you'd like to add, definitely drop it down below in the comments. I can't necessarily get everything correct 100% of the time, but I truly try my best to share all this information with you. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me. If you happen to find anyone that you know would also benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. It helps me out a ton and allows me to keep doing what I love every single day, and that is gaming and sort of helping people any way that I can. So finally, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.